At the beginning of the drama, we see Shu Hongdo, who is the manager of a very large hotel. Because of this, she is under a lot of pressure at work. She is doing her work at the hotel when she gets a call from her mom, who tells her, "Today is your dad's birthday." But Shu Hongdo is so busy with work that she can't remember anything. She is having lunch when a colleague from the hotel, who liked her, invites her to have dinner with him. But Shu Hongdo makes an excuse and refuses him. After this, her best friend comes to meet her. Both of them were very happy to see each other. Shu Hongdo's friend was also very busy with her work, which is why, despite living in the same city, they could only meet each other 2 or 3 times a year. She has dinner at Shu Hongdo's house, where she tells her, "Your food lying in the fridge has expired." But Shu Hongdo was so busy that she didn't know about these things and was still eating them. After dinner, they both sit down to talk. Shu Hongdo's friend wished to earn a lot of money, buy her own house and a nice car, and get a boyfriend. But Shu Hongdo didn't like love and affection. For her work was the most important thing. Shu Hongdo had a boyfriend before, but she was so busy that he also broke up with her. At bedtime, Shu Hongdo's friend asks her to give her a little massage on her back, but she keeps massaging her back all night until she falls asleep. The next day, Shu Hongdo's friend comes for her checkup. She thought it was a normal illness, but the doctors tell her that she has a serious problem for which she needs a CT scan. In the next scene, we see Shu Hongdo's friend's mom and dad, who are crying a lot while hugging their daughter. Actually, her friend's condition was very, very serious. She needs surgery. Also, there is no guarantee that she will be completely fine after the surgery. After learning this, Shu Hongdo was very sad and felt very helpless. When her mom finds out about this, she becomes very worried for Shu Hongdo and tells her to live properly and take care of herself. At this time, Shu Hongdo was very distressed. She was sitting with dinner in front of her, but she couldn't eat anything. But the next day, she again comes to work at the hotel with a smile on her face. As soon as she gets a little time from work, she comes to the hospital to meet her friend. They both come out to have dinner together. Together, they talk about their college and some of their other friends. But then, Shu Hongdo suddenly puts her head on her friend's shoulder and starts crying. She was quite strong, so she had controlled her emotions until now. But seeing her friend in such a situation, she couldn't control herself anymore. Her friend knew that if she also started crying, it would be very difficult to handle Shu Hongdo. That's why she doesn't cry and consoles her. The next day, Shu Hongdo is working at the hotel when she gets a call, and as soon as it comes, the smile on her face vanishes. In the next scene, we see that Shu Hongdo's best friend has now left her. After her departure, she has become very lonely, and she cries a lot. The pressure on her mind from her friend's death is so much that she also falls ill and has to be admitted to the hospital. Shu Hongdo thinks that her condition has become as serious as her friend's, so she was repeatedly asking the doctor about herself. But the doctor tells her, "Your condition is normal. You've just gotten a little sick from taking too much stress." Then she comes home and listens to her friend's voice message, which she had absolutely no courage to listen to. In that voice message, her friend had asked her for a favor, saying, "After I'm gone, my parents will be the most hurt, so you must call them on festivals. They will like it. And don't cry for me for too many days. In the time I have left, I can't see the world to my heart's content. I want to eat, I want to drink, I want to travel the world, but I can't do any of this. So, whatever I want to do, you will have to do it all for me. Go out and make friends with people. When you like a relationship, you take the first step to build it. Don't waste your life just working. This is my wish for you. After I'm gone, be happy for me." After hearing all this, Shu Hongdo first cries a lot, and then, unwillingly, eats a full meal, takes out the expired food from her fridge and cleans it. And in the morning, she takes a 3-month leave from the hotel and comes to a village to travel. She is on her way, looking at the route to her cottage on Google Maps, when a boy, who was running after his horse, collides with Shu Hongdo, causing her phone to fall and break. Then she comes to the cottage and asks a man, "Do you know Xiao Chun?" But he is so lost in his meditation that he doesn't give any reply to Shu Hongdo. But just then, Xiao Chun arrives and takes Shu Hongdo's luggage upstairs to her room. Then she shows her around the cottage and tells her what is where. Then Shu Hongdo asks her, "Is there any boy here who rides a horse or has a horse?" From Shu Hongdo's words, Xiao Chun understands who she is talking about. Shu Hongdo had to meet that boy, so Xiao Chun takes her to his house. On the way, she asks Shu Hongdo, "Why do you need to meet that boy?" She tells her, "My phone broke because of him. I need to talk to him about it." But just then, Xiao Chun gets an urgent call, so now she can't go with Shu Hongdo. That's why she tells her the boy's address and leaves from there. Then we see our male lead, Xie Jiao, who is scolding his younger brother, Ji Yuan. And Ji Yuan is the same boy because of whom Shu Hongdo's phone broke. Ji Yuan is very naughty, but he is his grandmother's favorite grandson, which is why Jie Jiao can't even scold him properly. Zhu Hongdou comes there and tells Jie Jiao about his brother, that her phone broke because of him. Jie Jiao was already annoyed with Ji Yuan's mischief, but when Zhu Hongdou comes and complains about him, he starts to beat him. He chases him around and hits him. And then he asks Zhu Hongdou, "Do you want a new phone in exchange for this one?" She says, "No, I don't want a new phone. You just get this one repaired. Or in exchange for this phone, you can give me half the money, because it's old anyway." Jie Jiao agrees to this and starts to introduce himself to Zhu Hongdou. He finds out that Zhu Hongdou is going to stay here for 3 months. When she's about to leave, Jie Jiao calls his brother and tells him to apologize to Zhu Hongdou. Before leaving, Zhu Hongdou tells him, "Don't hit him now." To this, he says, "When did I hit him?" Even though he had chased and beaten him for about 10 minutes. Then we see another girl named Lina. She lived in this cottage, where she worked in a small cafe. In the same cottage, there is also a wood shop where Xiao Chun's brother, Xiaoxia, worked. There, his master taught him woodwork. The master made all his things in a very traditional and old-fashioned way. But Xiaoxia didn't like all this. He wanted to do something new. He would leave the work given by the master and get busy making something new, so the master would get very angry with him and yell at him a lot. He too had become irritated with his daily scoldings. He explains to him, "People only like this traditional work, but they don't want to buy it. People come here, look at it, and leave without buying." But the master was old-fashioned, and he didn't like Xiaoxia's words at all. Here, Zhu Hongdou decorates her room. After finishing her work, she gets ready and goes out for a walk. She comes to a restaurant to eat. The owner of the place was about to close the restaurant, but seeing Zhu Hongdou, she stops and cooks for her. She wanted to take a picture of the food before eating it, so she asked the owner to click her photo. The owner likes Zhu Hongdou a lot, so until she finishes her food and leaves, she sits there and talks with her. While paying the bill, Zhu Hongdou remembers that she forgot to bring her purse. That's why she gives the owner her address and says, "I will come and pay my bill tomorrow." And for the time being, she wanted to leave her camera with them. But the owner didn't want to take money from her at all. She just wanted to feed Zhu Hongdou out of love. But she says she will come soon and pay her bill. After this, Zhu Hongdou leaves from there and starts to wander around the village, looking at the whole village, which was very beautiful. And along with that, Zhu Hongdou also clicks her pictures everywhere she goes. While wandering there, she loses her way. Just then, she sees a house where Jie Jiao was working. She goes to him and asks for the way to the cottage. He tells her the way, but while returning from there, Zhu Hongdou's foot steps in horse potty, and her shoe gets stuck in it. That's why Jie Jiao comes and helps her, puts her on his horse. He ties her shoe to a stick and hangs it on his shoulder. And talking, they both come back to the village. There, Jie Jiao first takes her to Qin's shop to get other shoes. When Qin sees that Jie Jiao has brought a girl on his horse, she is quite shocked because Jie Jiao never let anyone sit on his horse. That's why she asks Jie Jiao, "Is she your girlfriend?" He says, "No, she's just a tourist. She has come here to visit." Then, he gets Zhu Hongdou shoes with his own money. On the way home from there, Jie Jiao also picks up his grandmother, who had a cosmetic shop right there. Then Jie Jiao also takes Zhu Hongdou to his house for dinner. After dinner, Zhu Hongdou returns to the cottage. When she wakes up in the morning, her hands and feet were itching a lot because she had been bitten by mosquitoes all night. Then she gets up and comes outside where she meets a girl named Damai. Damai tells her, "I have made a little too much breakfast so you two can eat with me." Zhu Hongdou refuses at first, but upon her repeated requests, she sits and eats with her. Then Damai says, "I made breakfast, so if you want, you can wash the dishes." And giving her the task of washing dishes, she leaves from there. After finishing the work, Zhu Hongdou comes to her room and sees that Damai had kept a spray to repel mosquitoes because she couldn't sleep last night due to mosquitoes. So Zhu Hongdou sprays it well in her room and then sits and reads a book. After this, Zhu Hongdou meets the landlady there, who had a very sweet nature and talked a lot. Here, only Mr. Ma remained quiet, who was always meditating. In the meantime, he gets a phone call, but he doesn't receive it either. Jie Jiao was at his grandmother's shop and was helping her arrange all the goods. Just then, Zhu Hongdou passes by. Jie Jiao calls out to her. She really likes the things made by Jie Jiao's grandmother's hands. Zhu Hongdou asks Jie Jiao for the address of Xiao Chun's restaurant because she had to go there to give her money. But Jie Jiao says, "I also have to go there for some work, so you should come with me." She also goes along. Jie Jiao had said that we would take a shortcut, but to spend time with her, he takes her on a very long route. Zhu Hongdou says, "This path is quite long. When will we reach there?" Jie Jiao says, "You've come here to travel, so why are you in such a hurry? Then they both stand in one place and talk for a while. After this, they both come to that restaurant. After giving the money, Xu Hongdu orders pancakes for herself there, and Xie Jiao is playing with the children. Just then, Xiao Chun comes there with a girl. She had found a girlfriend for Xie Jiao, but Xie Jiao doesn't even talk to her. His full attention was on Xu Hongdu. Then, Xu Hongdu comes to that wood shop where Xiaoxia was working. Xu Hongdu really likes his work. Xiaoxia tells her, "The manager where you are staying, Xiwo Chun, is my sister." Xiaoxia also likes Xu Hongdu's behavior a lot, and he also gives her a small gift made with his own hands, which she keeps as a decoration in her room. Here, Xiwo Chun was telling Xie Jiao that Xiaoxia wants to go to Shanghai. He has made a new friend there. Coming home, Xie Jiao again scolds his brother because he didn't want to go to school. Just then, Xiaoxia comes there and asks them why they were fighting. Zhi Yuan explains, "He is beating me to study." Xiaoxia says, "He doesn't like to study, so you shouldn't force him." To this, Xie Jiao says, "Put his problem aside. You tell me, what do you want to do in Shanghai?" To this, he says, "I want to go there and travel." But after Xie Jiao asks properly, he tells him that he also has to find a job for himself there. But Xie Jiao was a little scared that Xiaoxia might get into some wrong things there. But seeing Xiaoxia's excitement, he couldn't refuse him either. He talks to his mom to send him to Shanghai. Xie Jiao explains to Xiaoxia's mom she should give him permission to go out once. Xiaoxia's family also respected Xie Jiao a lot, and his opinion mattered to them, so his mom, on his say, gives Xiaoxia permission to go to Shanghai. Then Xiaoxia's mom was talking to him about going to Shanghai, which made him feel a little bad, because he felt that no one was trying to understand him. His mom was also giving him permission to go only because of what Xie Jiao said. But after talking to them for a while, Xiaoxia understands that his mom is worried about him. That's why she is saying all this. He tells his mom, "One day I will become a very big man. I will earn a lot of money and I will buy a nice apartment for you." But his mom says, "You don't need to do all this for me. You should buy that apartment for your wife, but just take care of yourself there." Xu Hongdu was trying to sleep, but when she couldn't, she comes out of the room where Lina and Damai were also sitting. The three of them sit together, eating and talking. Damai was a writer, but she didn't like her job at all. Rather, she was interested in Xu Hongdu's work. But Xu Hongdu tells her, "I'm frustrated with my job." And Xu Hongdu liked Damai's job. The next morning, Xu Hongdu comes to Qin's shop to buy some things. When Qin asks, Xu Hongdu tells her, "That day dung got on my foot. That's why Xie Jiao let me sit on his horse." That's why Qin also thinks of doing something like that to sit on Xie Jiao's horse. At night, Xie Jiao's grandmother is taking a bath when Xie Jiao comes and tells her, "I'll help you wash your hair." And he takes her to the washroom to help her. And Xu Hongdu is also watching this scene from her room, which she likes very much. And she also starts to remember her grandmother, how she and her elder sister used to go to their grandmother's house during the holidays. She also wanted to always be with her grandmother, just like Xie Jiao, leaving her mom and dad. Then she comes to Damai because she had to call her mom right now. But Xu Hongdu's phone was still not working. That's why she takes Damai's phone and calls her mom and asks her to go to her grandmother's grave. At her request, Xu Hongdu's mom and her aunt come to their grandmother's grave. Waking up in the morning, Xu Hongdu and Damai are sitting and talking. Just then, the landlady comes to them and asks them to go somewhere with her, to which Xu Hongdu easily agrees, but Damai didn't want to go with them. But still, the landlady forcibly takes her along. She had brought them both to Xiaoxia's mom, because Xiaoxia was going to Shanghai in a few days, and his mom was making cakes for him with her own hands. But when she makes all this alone, it takes her a lot of time because she was making a bit too many cakes. That's why the landlady had brought these two there to help her, where Xu Hongdu starts helping them happily, and Damai also has to help, albeit forcibly. Over there, Xiaoxia was talking with Xiao Chun. He was a good boy, but he was very fond of earning money. That's why he was busy buying stocks, which could prove bad for him. Xiaoxia thought he was on the right path for now, but he didn't know that he was already on the wrong track. Here, these four together make a lot of cakes and taste them. After this, when Damai and Xu Hongdu are leaving from there, Xiaoxia's mom gives them cakes for them and their families as well. Working with them, Damai got so tired that as soon as she came home, she wrapped herself in a blanket and went to sleep. Here, Xie Jiao is explaining to Zhi Yuan, "You should at least complete high school, and if you don't feel like going to school after that, you can quit your studies." But Zhi Yuan thought that if he went to school, everyone would laugh at him. If not in front of him, then behind his back. Xie Jiao asks, "Why? Why would they laugh at you?" To which Ji Yuan explains, once by mistake, he had pooped in school. That's why he absolutely cannot go to school now. Xiaoxia's mom had given some cakes to give to Jiyuan, which Xu Hongdu had come to deliver. But Jiyuan's voice was coming so loudly from inside that hearing it, she puts the cake there and starts to leave. But just then, Jiyuan comes out shouting and is very shocked to see Xu Hongdu there. He immediately comes and grabs her leg so that she cannot leave. Xu Hongdu didn't want to come between these two, so she was trying to leave from here. But Jiyuan was not letting her go at all because Xu Hongdu had heard about him soiled in his pants. Now Jiyuan was thinking that she would go out and tell everyone about this, and here too, everyone would laugh at him, make fun of him. That's why he brings Xu Hongdu to his house and sits holding the door, so that she cannot leave from here. Xie Jiao repeatedly tries to explain to him, let Xu Hongdu go from here, but he doesn't listen to them. Getting irritated with him, Xie Jiao is about to hit him with his shoe, but Xu Hongdu stops him. She also explains to Jiyuan, I won't go anywhere and I won't tell anyone about you. You sit back and relax. But he didn't trust Xu Hongdu at all. It was quite late now, so Xie Jiao asks Xu Hongdu to have dinner with him. They both start eating food together. Jiyuan was also hungry, but still, he was sitting holding the gate, because his dignity was dearer to him at this moment than food. Then Jiyuan asks him to bring him rice and soup, for which he goes, and then he also sits and eats with them. Then when Xu Hongdu leaves from there, Jiyuan still shouts and forbids her from telling anyone that he had soiled in his pants. Xu Hongdu had also sent those cakes to her mom and dad. Xu Hongdu had made those cakes with her own hands, so her dad starts eating them as soon as he sees them. But her mom stops them by saying, wait now, I don't know whether to eat these cakes hot or cold. To ask about this, she calls Xu Hongdu, but her phone was switched off. So she calls her elder daughter. She says, you can eat those cakes cold. Xu Hongdu's sister was thinking that Xu Hongdu had bought those cakes and sent them. That's why she was thinking that there was no need for her to spend money unnecessarily. But her mom tells her, Xu Hongdu has made all those cakes with her own hands. Didn't you see her written note inside the packet? Her mom and dad liked the cakes a lot, but their sister hadn't eaten the cake. Instead, she had distributed it in her office. Then she asks everyone, how did you like the cake? Everyone in the office says, the cake was very good. Xu Hongdu's sister tells them, my younger sister made this cake. Xu Hongdu had also sent those cakes to her best friend's mom and dad, and they also liked them a lot. Then we see Xiaoxia, who secretly goes to his mom's room and takes her ATM card. After putting all the things back in their place, as he is about to leave, his mom comes and asks, what are you doing here? So Xiaoxia lies, I was looking for my jeans. On the other side, in the cottage, everyone was laughing at Jiyuan. Somehow, they had found out that he had pooped in his pants. When Jiyuan finds out about this, he comes to fight with Xu Hongdu because he thought that Xu Hongdu herself had told everyone about this. But Xu Hongdu wasn't even there. She had gone to the service center to get her phone. Her phone was now fixed. As soon as she turns it on, a lot of messages start coming, and then Jiyuan's call also comes. As soon as she receives the call, Jiyuan starts shouting at her. Xu Hongdu calls Xie Jiao about this and tells him that she hasn't told anyone about Jiyuan. As soon as Xie Jiao comes to his house to explain to Jiyuan, he finds out that Jiyuan has left home with clothes and money, and he was not picking up his phone either. Over there, Jiyuan had come with some of his friends. He just wanted to annoy his brother. He wanted to see if Xie Jiao would worry about him if he left home or not. After searching for Zhou Guan all day when Xie Jiao comes home, Xu Hongdu was very worried. She tells Xie Jiao, I haven't told anyone about Zhou Yuan, but he thinks that I am the one who told everyone about this. Xu Hongdu was worried that Xie Jiao might misunderstand her for Zhou Yuan leaving home. And he was actually thinking just that. He thought that Xu Hongdu herself had told everyone about his brother, because besides the three of them, no one else knows about this. Xu Hongdu says, if I didn't tell anyone, then it's possible that you told them about it, because besides Zhi Yuan, only we two know about this. At this, Xie Jiao says in surprise, why on earth would I tell anyone about my own brother? After a while, he starts laughing at Xu Hongdu because she had just arrived here and was still so worried about his brother. But Xie Jiao wasn't worried about his brother. He was just watching Xiaoxia because he was a good friend of Zhi Yuan. But even when Zhi Yuan went missing, he wasn't worried about him at all. This means Xiaoxia must know something about him. But when Xie Jiao asks, he says, I don't know about this. The next day, many customers come to Lina's cafe, whom she couldn't handle alone. Just then, Xu Hongdu comes there and helps her. Xu Hongdu knew very well how to handle customers. Xie Jiao had also come here for some work, and he is very impressed to see Xu Hongdu handling everything so well. At night, the bulb in the cottage's kitchen goes out, so Xie Jiao comes to fix it. Just then, the landlady, Xiaoxia's mom, and another lady, these three come to talk to Xie Jiao. Zhu Yuan has left home, yet Xie Jiao is neither looking for him, nor is there any tension on his face. That's why everyone was thinking that Zhi Yuan is his stepbrother, so he doesn't care about him. The landlady says a lot to Xie Jiao and tells him to find his brother. Xie Jiao explains, Zhi Yuan has taken money from home, so he must be fine. When his hobby of wandering outside and living alone is fulfilled, he will come back on his own. Seeing Xie Jiao so carefree about him, the aunt asks him, do you know where Ji Yuan is? Just then, Xie Jiao whispers something in their ears. Here, Ji Yuan is working as a waiter in a hotel. He had to do a lot of work there, which he had never done. After working day and night, he gets very tired. When he gets a little free from work, he calls Xiaoxia and talks. This means Xie Jiao's doubt was correct. Xiaoxia knows about him. Zhi Yuan asks him, is my brother worried about me? Does he miss me? To this, Xiaoxia says no, so he gets a little upset. After this, he again switches off his phone because he didn't want to go back home until Xi Jiao worried about him. The next day, we see Xiaoxia, who is going to Shanghai. His mom packs a lot of dry fruits and many other things for him. His mom was very worried about how he would live there alone, but Xiaoxia couldn't understand her tension. He was getting irritated with her. After a while, a car stops there, and Xiaoxia gets in it and leaves. Here, Xie Jiao was getting ready to go to the city. He had to talk to an investor to expand his business. He also had to convince that investor to invest in his business. On the way, he meets Xu Hongdu. After talking for a while, both go their separate ways. Over there, the master comes to meet Xiaoxia, and he finds out that he has left the city and had also left a letter for him, which makes him angry. But while leaving, he takes the letter with him. Then the master meets a madam. Her work was also traditional like the master's, but there was one difference between them and the master. It was that although the madam's work was old-fashioned, her thinking was modern. She knew how to accept her modern culture. She promoted her business. She held exhibitions of her art in different places, because of which her business was also doing well, and she had many new students. But the master didn't even feel the need to promote his work. He didn't like all this. But after meeting the madam and talking to her, he also understood a little that he should also promote his work. Then we see Xu Hongdu, who was cooking after many days. She was making breakfast today. After this, she calls Damai and also asks Mr. Ma to come with her. He was lost in meditation, but when the words reached his ears that Xu Hongdu had come to call him for breakfast, he also feels hungry and leaves his meditation to come and eat. Here, Xie Jiao comes to meet his investor. The investor liked meeting Xie Jiao and also appreciated him, but he didn't see any profit for himself in his business, so he refuses to invest. But Xie Jiao doesn't give up. He tells them his whole story, how he studied in the city and then came to the village to start his business. And because of his business, all the villagers got work, which enabled them to run their homes. The investor likes all this. Xie Jiao also explains to them how they can benefit by investing in his business, and also gives them very good tips, which impresses them a lot, and they finalize their deal with him. After coming from there, Xie Jiao sits with his head on his grandmother's shoulder because he was very happy and a little tired too. He tells her, the work I went to do was successful. Hearing this, his grandmother is also very happy for him. At night, Xu Hongdo comes out to eat street food, where Xie Jiao's friend had a stall. They both were talking about Xie Jiao. Xie Jiao's friend tells her, Xie Jiao completed his studies from abroad and then came to the village to start his business. He is the boss here, but he doesn't have even a little bit of attitude. He helps everyone here. After a while, Xie Jiao also comes here. He hadn't been out for a long time, so he also asks Xu Hongdo to go somewhere with him. But Xu Hongdo didn't want to go anywhere, so she refuses. Xie Jiao tells her, if you need it, I can get you a job here. But Xu Hongdo clearly refuses. She explains, I've just come here to relax. At one time, I just focused on my studies. Then, when I got a job, I focused on my work. I have never lived my life to the fullest until today. From my job, I have only earned money and bought a little bit of land, that's all. So far, I haven't been able to build a house there, nor have I bought a car, nor do I have a boyfriend. But now I just want to live like a loser. Just like no one knows or asks about a loser, I want no one to care about me either. Xie Jiao is also a little impressed by her words. Here in the hotel, Zhi Yuan accidentally spills all the food, which he has to clean up himself. While cleaning the food under the table, a customer's heel hits his hand, which hurts him a lot. But still, he has to work. After a while, he comes to the restroom and starts crying. Just then, his friend brings a band-aid for him. After applying the band-aid, he asks, do you want to go home now? You must have understood by now that it's better to go to school than to work here. Until now, Zhi Yuan liked his friend's life a lot. He thinks that he doesn't have to take permission from anyone. He is his own boss. His friend says, you are very lucky to have such a good brother, a loving grandmother. Both of them take such good care of you. You have those two people to call your own. But look at me. My mom and dad got divorced in my childhood. They both started their own lives, and I came to live at my grandpa's house. And after his death, I am forced to work here, because I have no one now. Then he tells Zhi Yuan to rest and goes to work. The next day, Zhao tells Ye Jiao, "The villagers don't consider me a manager. Everyone talks to me casually. No one is afraid of me. If this continues, how will our work proceed? For the manager's post, we need someone whom people are afraid of." At this, Xie Jiao remembers Xu Hongdou because she would be the best for this. But Xiaochun says, yes, she would be good, but she won't agree to this. Because she has left her job and come here to relax. Then why would she work here? But Xie Jiao says, you tell her a story that will brainwash her. She is a kind person, so she will surely agree. Just then, the master comes there to talk to Xie Jiao, because now he wanted Xie Jiao to promote their woodshop. He had understood that without social media, he could not move forward now. Here, Xiaoxia's mom looks at her purse and doesn't find the bank card in it. She remembers that Xiaoxia had come to her room that day, searching for something here. She suspects that he must have taken that card. Here, Xie Jiao had given Lina the task of convincing Xu Hongdou to work with them, but Lina couldn't do this work. She tells Xie Jiao she will be leaving from here in a few days. Then why do you want to involve her in our work? Xie Jiao explains to her how important Xu Hongdou's contribution was for them. She was skillful. She has experience managing a hotel. That's why before she leaves from here, we should learn everything from her. Actually, Xie Jiao wanted to make his village a tourist place, but the villagers didn't have that potential. They didn't want to make themselves workers. They worked, but they didn't do any work properly. Everyone just did as they pleased. Xie Jiao also couldn't force them much. He could only explain to them with love. But in this way, their village could never become a tourist spot. That's why he badly needed Xu Hongdou's help. The next morning, we see that Mr. Ma was meditating very well. And today, Xu Hongdou was also meditating with him for a long time. Hu Yu, sitting there, had fallen asleep long ago while focusing on his song, but these two were still meditating. After a long time, Mr. Ma sees if anyone is watching them. He too quietly gets up and walks away from there because his legs had started to hurt from sitting. Xu Hongdou was also tired from sitting for so long. The next day, early in the morning, Xie Jiao wakes Xu Hongdou from her sleep and brings her to the market for a walk. Xu Hongdou hadn't completed her sleep yet, so she was sleeping while standing there. She was very angry with Xie Jiao because he had woken her from her sleep and brought her here. But after some time, Xie Jiao takes her to eat noodles. While eating, he starts his conversation. Hearing his sweet talk, Xu Hongdou thinks that he is going to propose to her. That's why she starts warning him without hearing his full sentence. I don't want to be in a relationship with you, because right now, we don't even know each other properly. And anyway, I will be leaving from here in a few days, and I have no interest in a long-distance relationship. With her words, Xu Hongdou wasn't even giving him a chance to speak. Xie Jiao is just stunned to hear her strange words. But on the way, Xie Jiao tells her, it's nothing like what you were thinking. I just need your help in my work. Now, after hearing this, she feels a little embarrassed. While walking, Xie Jiao requests her to work with him. But Xu Hongdou says, I don't want to do any work. I have just come here to enjoy my holidays. When Xie Jiao fails to convince her to work with him, his grandmother emotionally blackmails Xu Hongdou. She cries in front of her, saying how worried she is for her Xie Jiao. If he doesn't become successful, what will happen to him? Now, from all this, Xu Hongdou also melts a little. After a while, Shen comes to meet Xie Jiao. Xu Hongdou was also there, so Shen tells her how hard Xie Jiao is trying to develop his village. He himself had returned to his village, and at the same time, he also explained the value of their motherland to the other staff. And inspired by Xie Jiao, they all also left their well-settled jobs and came here to advance their motherland. Hearing these things, Xu Hongdou was a little more convinced. What little remained was done at night by Demai and Lina. After thinking a lot, Xu Hongdou messages Xie Jiao, I will just help you in your work for the sake of it. But yes, don't expect too much from me. Now, seeing this message, Xie Jiao is very happy because this was enough for him. He praises his grandmother because, with all their help, he was able to convince Xu Hongdou. And from that night itself, Xu Hongdou starts preparing for work. In the morning, Xie Jiao comes to pick her up. Xu Hongdou was still inside, so in the meantime, Xie Jiao starts dancing in front of Mr. Ma to distract him, but it was of no use. After a while, Xu Hongdou comes there, and they both reach the cafe together. Xie Jiao tells everyone there that Xu Hongdou is their manager from today, but Xu Hongdou clarifies that her job is temporary. What things were needed to run the cafe? Where were the problems? To find out all this, Xu Hongdou talks to everyone one by one, and by talking to all of them, Xu Hongdou understands that none of them were taking their work seriously, and this was the biggest problem. Xie Jiao tells Xu Hongdou You can't get work done by being strict with the people here, because the people here won't be able to follow the kind of rules that were in your hotel in the city. The next day, Shu Hongdu puts up some stickers in the cafe, in which she writes, "Who has to do what work?" These stickers were for those aunties who had a habit of forgetting things, which really helps them. The next day, Shu Hongdu sees that an auntie spills a little juice on a customer. To manage the situation, Shu Hongdu quickly comes and asks to give another juice to the customer instead of that one. The auntie doesn't like this at all. She says, "Only a little juice was spilled. What's the need to give another one?" Shu Hongdu explains to her, if customers are given good service like this, their cafe will get a reputation. Then she also clicks a photo of the auntie with the customer. For giving good service, snacks are given for free with coffee. After a while, both aunties leave half the work and start going to their homes. Shu Hongdu explains, "You both should not leave work like this right now." But they both don't listen to her and leave. She now thinks of trying another idea. Then Shu Hongdu was sitting with Mr. Ma for tea. Just then, Xie Jiao comes and takes her to meet a new friend of his. Xie Jiao's mare was about to give birth to a foal. Shu Hongdu asks him, "Can I record this moment?" So Xie Jiao says, "Yes." While recording it, Shu Hongdu gets quite emotional. The next day, when Mr. Ma was meditating, the landlady comes there and asks him for tea. At the same time, she also asks Shu Hongdu to come with her. Mr. Ma used to leave his work and just meditate all day, and Shu Hongdu also didn't want to work. That's why the auntie explains to them, a person should never sit down leaving all their work in life. One should always keep doing some work or the other. If you don't earn money, how will you fulfill your needs? And when you get old and need money, who will come to give you money? Both of them are a little impressed by her words. They understand that they shouldn't waste their time like this. Damai was also standing outside listening to their conversation, which also gives her some motivation. Mr. Ma was so inspired by the landlady's words that he now didn't want to waste his entire time in meditation. He understood that this meditation is only good sometimes. Otherwise, he didn't do anything other than making tea for himself. But today, for the first time, he goes to the kitchen and makes dinner for himself. Here, Damai, who was also inspired by the landlady's words, sees that dust had settled on her laptop and other things in the room, which he cleans one by one and then comes towards the kitchen. Mr. Ma was making dinner, so he makes it for Damai as well. Damai also likes his food and praises him, which makes Mr. Ma feel very good. Then he gives Damai an example of his friend and tells her, "My friend, who was very lucky. He had a lot of confidence in his luck. Due to his luck, he got a lot of success in business, which made him even more confident, and that's why he once invested all his money in the business. But that time, his luck didn't work, and everything was lost. He paid off his debt with great difficulty. He didn't have the courage left to start all over again, so he left everything and started meditating so that he could keep himself calm." The way Mr. Ma was telling this, he had given the example of his friend, but it seemed like he was talking about himself. Then we see the master, who restarts his wood shop the next day. He was doing this for the promotion of his shop. Then an interview of his is taken, but he was not ready to speak in front of the camera. But on Xie Jiao's say, Xiaoxia starts recording him with his camera. But the master gets very angry at him in front of the camera. He scolds him, hits him, which makes the video come out very natural. Here, Shu Hongdu was explaining their work to everyone. To keep those two aunties on a full-time job, she had talked about giving them a bonus. Later, Shu Hongdu, Xiaochun, and Xie Jiao were sitting together and were very happy because the cafe was running perfectly fine. Xie Jiao was very thankful to Shu Hongdu because with her help everything was done properly. Just then, a customer's child starts crying. Shu Hongdu goes to handle him, but he doesn't quiet down. Just then, she calls the auntie. She was experienced, so she handles the child. Xie Jiao was smiling a lot looking at Shu Hongdu, so Xiaochun tells him, "Don't fall in love with her. She will be leaving from here in a few days." But Xie Jiao didn't want to think about this right now. After a while, Shen comes with good news. They had found an investor. To meet him, Shen and Shu Hongdu had to wear traditional clothes. That's why they both come to the tailor auntie to give their measurements. The next day, grandmother asks Xie Jiao, "You like Shu Hongdu, don't you?" But Xie Jiao denies it. But grandmother could clearly see that he had started to like her. After a while, Xie Jiao gets a call from Mr. Ma. He calls him to meet. When Xie Jiao goes to meet him, he tells him, "A business idea has come to my mind. I want to start a tea business, for which I also need an investor." But Xie Jiao doesn't take his words seriously at all. Mr. Ma explains to him, "I need to start my tea business, for which I need Xie Jiao's help." Here, Shu Hongdu was doing some work with Xie Jiao's grandmother. While working, her hair kept coming forward, so grandmother ties her hair. In the midst of conversation, Shu Hongdu asks her, "Have you never played sports?" She says, "I never got a chance to play. I got married at a very young age, and we were quite poor then. We didn't even get proper food. That's why we needed to earn money, and my whole life was spent just running the house. That's why I never got a chance to live freely, to play. Hearing all this, Shu Hongdo goes to her room and brings a small game to play, in which grandmother was losing again and again. At one point, she tells Shu Hongdo, "You are cheating. That's why I keep losing. So now I don't want to play." Just then, to cheer her up, Xie Jiao comes there and he also sits down to play with them. Playing with Xie Jiao, grandmother was winning every time, and now she was having a lot of fun. Now when Xie Jiao was losing again and again, he tells grandmother, "Now you are cheating, and you have learned this cheating from Shu Hongdu." At this, grandmother starts to hit him. In the next scene, we see that Shu Hongdo was talking to her mom and sister in a conference. After talking to them, when she goes to call Damai for dinner, she hears the sound of Damai crying from inside. Upon talking to her, Shu Hongdu finds out that Damai used to write without inspiration until now. She got money for her work, but not many people read her content. She got very few views. But still, she wanted to become a famous writer. In the beginning, people liked her content, so she had made it a full-time job. But gradually, people stopped liking her content. Damai thought that if she couldn't become a famous writer, there was no point. But then, Shu Hongdu and Lina together cheer her up. After some time, Shu Hongdo sees Lina crying too. When she asks, Lina tells her, "I feel very bad for Damai," because when Damai came here, she had forbidden Lina from telling anyone about her being a writer. But Lina, without understanding anything, told this to the other people in the cottage as well, and Damai didn't like this thing at all. Shu Hongdo explains to her, "It's okay, you didn't do it on purpose. Damai wouldn't blame you for this either." The next day, Shu Hongdu and Xie Jiao are talking. Xie Jiao tells her, "I want to teach you horse riding." But she reminds him, "I am going to leave from here in a few days." Xie Jiao couldn't even believe that she would actually leave from here. That's why he was thinking that Shu Hongdu must have had a relationship with one of her colleagues, and she has come here to relax after breaking up with him. At night, Shu Hongdu and Xie Jiao are making dinner together when Mr. Ma comes there and asks Xie Jiao, "Have you found an investor for me?" Xie Jiao says yes. At this, he just goes crazy with joy, saying, "Finally, I will get a chance to start my business." He hugs Xie Jiao, kisses him on the forehead, and leaves, saying, "Thank you." Shu Hongdu was a little surprised by this. She asks, "Mr. Ma, how will he be able to handle a business?" But Xie Jiao tells her, "Maybe you don't know, Mr. Ma used to be a very big businessman." And from this, we find out that the example he was giving of his friend that day was not his friend's, but his own. The next day, we see that rumors spread throughout the village that, when Xie Jiao was abroad, Shu Hongdu used to be his girlfriend. Then, they broke up, and now Shu Hongdu has come back here to patch things up. That's why she helps Xie Jiao so much, but never takes money from him. Now everyone was also very happy about their relationship. The next day, Xiaoxia comes to give Shu Hongdu a gift, because she is in a relationship with their brother Xie Jiao. After he leaves, Lina tells Shu Hongdo, "Why didn't you tell Xiaoxia the truth?" She says, "Whom all will I silence? And anyway, I will be leaving from here in a few days, then everyone will forget on their own." The next day, Shu Hongdo takes Damai and Lina out for a walk with her. The three of them enjoy street food together and then do some shopping. Here, Shen was stuck with construction workers. She calls Xie Jiao for help. Actually, Xie Jiao wanted to build a homestay here, but he couldn't get in touch with the people who were paying for it. That's why Xie Jiao asks those contractors for a few more days. But they were not agreeing to work without payment. After Xie Jiao's repeated requests, their leader agrees. After that, Shen and Xie Jiao are sitting and drinking cold drinks when Qin comes and starts flirting with Xie Jiao. She was already upset hearing the rumors of his and Shu Hongdu's relationship. She proposes to Xie Jiao for marriage, but he clearly refuses her. Then he also explains to her, "You are much younger than me." But Qin had no problem with this. But still, when Xie Jiao doesn't agree, she gets angry and leaves. These three, while wandering, come to the bar where Hu Yu used to sing. There, Damai was getting a lot of happiness from Hu Yu's singing. He was also singing for her because today was Damai's birthday. Lina had found out about her birthday from her ID card. That's why they both had brought her here to give her a surprise. Later, Lina also sings a song there, which reminds Shu Hongdu of her best friend. She was also a little drunk, so she starts crying. Then, Xie Jiao comes to pick up these three. He puts Shu Hongdu in the car, but Shu Hongdu is still crying. The next day, when her hangover subsides, Lina tells her about her antics from last night, which makes her feel very embarrassed. The next day, Shu Hongdu and Xie Jiao come to the shop. There, some aunties were talking about their relationship in front of them. Xie Jiao also accepts, "Yes, Xu Hongdu is my girlfriend." Hearing this, Xu Hongdu feels a little uncomfortable and says, "Why did you say that?" He says, "You were the one who said that there is no need to give an explanation to anyone." Then we see Xie Jiao's dad coming home. Grandmother is very happy to see her son and starts cooking for him. Xie Jiao's dad didn't like him living here in the village and working here. He wanted Xie Jiao to go to a big city and find a good job for himself, for which he used to taunt Xie Jiao all the time, but he didn't take his words seriously. At night, Xu Hongdu and Xiao Chun come to Xie Jiao's house. Xiao Chun had come to meet his dad, so she goes inside. Xu Hongdu sits outside and starts talking to Xie Jiao. Both were talking about their grandmothers and grandfathers. Xie Jiao loved his grandpa very much. In his childhood, his mom and dad had gone to the city for work, and he felt comfortable living with his grandpa. Xie Jiao's dad was coming out to talk to him, but hearing Xie Jiao's words, he stands at a distance. Xie Jiao says he feels regret for not being with his grandpa in his final moments, and no one had even informed him, because at that time, he was busy with his studies. Hearing this, Dad also felt bad for him because he was the one who hadn't informed him. That's why he doesn't come out and, after hearing his words, goes back inside. Xu Hongdo says she also misses her grandmother a lot. The next morning, we see Mr. Ma, who is getting a review of his tea from Lina. She had some work, so she quickly gives him a review and leaves. This doesn't give him satisfaction, so he has Qin taste his tea. But she didn't like his tea at all. That's why he then has Shen taste it, who was calling every flavor good. She even tasted mouthwash thinking it was tea and called it tasty. She rates every single flavor 10 out of 10, with which Mr. Ma is not at all satisfied. Then he goes to Xu Hongdu and Damai, from whom he gets an honest review, and only then is he satisfied. In the next scene, we see that Xu Hongdu was standing by her window, and Xie Jiao, standing below, was continuously looking at her. He was so lost in looking at her that he didn't even realize when his dad came and stood next to him. After some time, when he comes to his senses, he is shocked to see his dad standing there. His son was looking at a girl so intently, and on top of that, there were rumors spreading in the village about the two of them. That's why Dad comes to meet Xu Hongdu. He goes into the cottage and starts looking around, but when he doesn't find Xu Hongdu anywhere down there, he leaves. Then we see that a little child's mom and dad were leaving him here in the village with his grandmother and going to the city for work, and their child was crying a lot seeing them go. Xu Hongdo and Xie Jiao, standing some distance away, were also watching this. Xie Jiao says, "This is why I want to make my village a tourist spot, so that no mom and dad have to leave their children and go to the city for work." The problems he faced in his childhood, living away from his mom and dad, he doesn't want any other child to face. Xie Jiao goes and consoles the children. They all start crying, holding on to him. Seeing all this, Xu Hongdu had also become quite emotional. Here, Xie Jiao's dad was bad-mouthing Xie Jiao to his co-workers, saying, "Why are you people supporting his son? If you don't do this, Xie Jiao won't be able to do anything alone, and then he will be forced to return to the city." But all the young people in the village didn't fall for Xie Jiao's dad's words. When Hu Yu and Damai see Xie Jiao's dad, they both hide. He tells Damai, "Stay away from Xie Jiao's dad, and don't tell him I'm going to my room." But Dad had come there to meet Xu Hongdu. He starts talking to her. Actually, Dad wanted Xu Hongdu to brainwash Xie Jiao so that she could convince him to go abroad. But Xu Hongdu, on the contrary, explains to him, "Why do you think that working in the city is a good thing? That you get more money? I have also worked in a very big hotel. There was money, but absolutely no peace. I couldn't even find time for myself. And there is absolutely no interest in working there. That's why I have come here to relax. And whatever Xie Jiao is doing, he is doing it for the good of everyone. Because just like you people left him here in his childhood, he doesn't want anyone else to leave their children." After talking to Xu Hongdu, today Dad understands Xie Jiao's motive, and he can't say anything. Xie Jiao was also coming there, so he had heard Xu Hongdo's words. Then we see that Dad was going back, and for the first time today, he tells Xie Jiao to do his work well and also appreciates him. Today, Xie Jiao was very, very happy. He was laughing at every little thing. Xu Hongdu didn't know the reason for his laughter, but she was also laughing with him. Here, Mr. Ma wanted to start his business, but he was very nervous. He used to have a lot of confidence in his luck, but the day he lost everything, he lost his courage. That's why he had come to Xie Jiao for suggestions. Should he start his business again? And now, he was also starting to worry about his parents, which he never had before. Xie Jiao also couldn't motivate him very well. So Mr. Ma starts meditating again to calm himself down. Just then, Hu Yu had written some new songs, so he goes and starts singing them to him. But he wasn't enjoying singing either. He gets irritated and, to calm his mind, sits down to meditate with Mr. Ma himself. But just then, the landlady arrives. As soon as she comes, Mr. Ma sits up and a smile appears on his face. The landlady absolutely did not like Mr. Ma sitting idly like this, so she starts scolding him again. Mr. Ma tells her, "I have been waiting for you for so long because I needed some advice from you." The landlady says, "I am an uneducated lady. What advice can I give you?" But he says, "You don't need education to give me advice. You are very experienced, and you can give me suggestions based on your experience." Now, a little impressed by his words, the landlady sits with him to give him suggestions. Mr. Ma asks her, "Should I start my business again?" The landlady says, "Just a few days ago you said that you have started your new business. So why are you asking for suggestions for it again?" Mr. Ma tells her his history, how much he has lost before. So should he start it again after this? Mr. Ma was most worried about his mom and dad here, that if he is unsuccessful again, what will he tell them? The landlady says, when children are young, they share everything with their parents. But when they grow up, they start hiding everything from them. And this thing hurts parents the most, because if the children don't tell them anything, how will the parents be able to solve their problems? Now Mr. Ma understands a lot from her words, and he decides what he has to do now. From the next day, their new project had started. Their job was to record videos of whatever the villagers did and post them on social media so that the popularity of their village would increase and people from everywhere would come here to visit. And for whatever video they were making, they also needed a good story, for which they needed a scriptwriter, which would make their work easier. Just then, Damai comes there, and Ziejiao gives her the script he had written. And because she was a writer, they ask her what is right and wrong in this script. Damai explains the script very well and also suggests a new story for it, so she is hired as a scriptwriter. She was appointed as a writer, but she was still not getting inspiration. Just then, another writer explains to her, "I can understand your situation. At one time, I had also lost all inspiration, and then I pulled myself together because I loved my work." In this way, they have a lot of conversations. She explains a lot to Damai. For the video shoot, some dancers were also needed, for which an announcement is made in the village, and then an audition is also held. But for a long time, no one comes there for the audition. They are about to leave from there when Chin comes there with some of her friends for the audition. In the next scene, we see that it is raining heavily outside, and all of them are sitting in the cafe and talking. Just then, Ziejiao gets a call that the foal is lost somewhere. To find it, both Ziejiao and Xu Hongdo come there. The foal is found, but due to the rain, these two cannot go back. They have to stay here. They both light a fire and talk there for a while, and then Xu Hongdu falls asleep right there. Over there, Mr. Ma was about to go to his house, and Hu Yu was taking his luggage to drop him off. The next day was shooting time. They had a lot to shoot today, in which some children had also participated. But after makeup, those children looked like complete cartoons, which made everyone laugh a lot at them. The shooting also had a dance part by Chin and her friends, and that video also had a romantic part which Xu Hongdo and Xie Jiao had to do, for which they are asked to hold hands, so both of them feel a little uncomfortable. After much effort, Xu Hongdu is the first to hold Xie Jiao's hand. They had to talk while walking, but after Xu Hongdu held his hand, Xie Jiao's mind stopped working. He couldn't say anything. A few days later, Mr. Ma had come back looking like a businessman, just like before. He wanted to surprise everyone with this new look, but there was no one in the cottage today. Then he finds the landlady, and she starts talking to Mr. Ma. The landlady asks, "How did your parents feel seeing you?" He says, "At first my parents thought I was going to become a monk, so they were very worried. But when they found out that I want to start a business again, they were very happy, and they have also given me money to start the business." Then we see that Ziejiao comes to drop Xu Hongdu to her room, because she was not well last night. There were some photos kept on the table which he starts looking at, but Xu Hongdu takes them from his hands. There were also many photos on the board in front, among which was also a photo of Xie Jiao. Seeing which, he becomes very curious about why Xu Hongdu has put his photo here. But Xu Hongdu shoos him away by saying there is also something called privacy. The next day, Damai thanks that writer, saying, "Because of you, I have found the inspiration to write again." But she says, "I just played a small role. Actually, it was Lina who asked me to motivate you so that you could start your career again. That's why if you want to say thanks, you should say it to Lina." Hearing this, Damai feels very lucky to have such a good friend who silently helped her so much. The next day, Lina wakes up very early in the morning to tell Xu Hongdu. Now Damai's story has improved a lot. Earlier, readers didn't like her story and they used to post hate comments, but now everyone is praising her. Lina was very excited for Damai, more than Damai herself was, because she hadn't even checked the comment box yet. Then Xu Hongdu was cooking, but grandmother was a little scared to see her cooking, because she was using too much of everything in the food. Grandmother also tries to stop her, but she cooks the food of her own accord and keeps it, which looked very good. But Ziejiao's family doesn't eat this kind of food. Ziejiao's appetite disappears just by looking at the food, but since Xu Hongdu had made it, he had to eat it. Although he wanted to eat only a little, grandmother gives him a lot. After this, they both sit and eat some fruits that Xu Hongdu had brought, and they were very bitter. They were so bitter that Ziejiao couldn't eat them, but Xu Hongdu says, I can't throw away so many fruits either. Ziejiao says, I will make wine from these fruits because I have to give a party from my side. Then they both drink tea, which burns both their tongues. Seeing this, grandmother was laughing a lot. The next day, Ziejiao is thinking about messaging Xu Hongdu but is unable to. Then, Qin comes to meet him. She had been waiting for Ziejiao for a long time, but when he didn't agree, finally today Qin tells him, I have got a boyfriend who is 5 years younger than me. Now she was not jealous of Xu Hongdu. On the contrary, she tells Ziejiao, you should propose to Xu Hongdu if you like her. But Ziejiao didn't like to take advice from anyone about this. That's why he tells Qin, you should only think about yourself. At night, grandmother also talks to him about the same thing, and she asks him to invite Xu Hongdu for dinner. But Ziejiao explains to them, Xu Hongdu is leaving from here in 2 days, so you people should not think so much about her. But when grandmother starts forcing him, Ziejiao leaves the food and comes out. He comes to his friend's shop and eats food. His friend sees Ziejiao and understands that he definitely has some problem. When he asks, Ziejiao tells him, this is a problem in my personal life. From this, he understands that this problem must be about Xu Hongdu. That's why he says, you should propose to Xu Hongdu. But this was a very difficult task for Ziejiao. At this, his friend advises, if you can't confess your love, then for the days she is here, you should be as good to her as before. Hang out with her. At least she will have a good memory of you. The little children were also sitting there, who understood everything about whom they were talking. The next day in the cafe, a customer comes whom Xu Hongdu is watching very intently because she looked exactly like her sister. After some time, Xu Hongdu realizes that she is indeed her sister who has come here with her daughter to meet her. After so many days, seeing both of them with her, Xu Hongdu is very happy. But their sister was a very serious woman. She didn't get too excited about anything. When Ziejiao finds out about this, he comes to Xu Hongdu and says he wants to show your sister his village. She asks, don't you have any work? To which he says no, he is free. The next day, he comes to take Xu Hongdu's sister to show her his village, and these four go out for a walk together. When Xu Hongdu used to work, she was very busy, but not like her sister. She had come here for a vacation but was attending her meetings on the phone, and Xu Hongdu didn't like this at all. The next day, in their cafe, a VIP guest arrives whom Xu Hongdu comes to welcome because she was used to attending to such guests. Then, Xu Hongdu shows the guest her entire village. Later, they find out that the guest is a very big businessman. The next day, Xu Hongdu's sister tells her, you join my company and stay with me. But her freedom was most dear to her. She didn't want to be under her sister's thumb, so she refuses. Then we see that Xu Hongdu is telling Ziejiao, my sister hates me. She doesn't like me at all. Ziejiao says, if that were the case, she would never have come so far to meet you. Xu Hongdu felt that her sister had come here just to lecture her, but Ziejiao explains, your sister is not well. Blood was also coming out of her nose. After learning this, Xu Hongdu realizes that her sister has come here for her. So then she also brings some medicine and healthy drinks for her sister. Now, Ziejiao has started to like Xu Hongdu so much that he has put her photo as his laptop wallpaper. He is talking to her on messages and then asks to go somewhere with her in the morning. Just then, his grandmother brings soup, and upon seeing her, Ziejiao quickly closes his laptop, but she had seen Xu Hongdu's photo on the wallpaper. But she already knew about Ziejiao's feelings. But still, Ziejiao forbids his grandmother from telling anyone else about this. Just then, he gets a message from Xu Hongdu. She had said yes to going out with him. Hearing this, the taste of Ziejiao's soup gets even better. The next day, Ziejiao wakes up in the morning, quickly bathes, and gets ready. From his side, it was as if he was going on a date. He arrives to pick up Xu Hongdu before time. Seeing him, Xu Hongdu says, why haven't you removed the tag from this new shirt of yours yet? Hearing this, Ziejiao quickly starts removing the tag. It had become a very embarrassing moment for him. Then they go to eat noodles together. After this, Xiaochun calls Ziejiao for some urgent work, where Xu Hongdu also goes with him. There, Ziejiao finds out that Xiaochun has fixed a blind date for him with some girl. Xu Hongdu and Ziejiao were not in a relationship, but both were feeling very uncomfortable in this situation. Ziejiao was worried for her, thinking, I wonder what Xu Hongdu must be thinking about me. When that girl comes there, Xiaochun starts praising Ziejiao in front of her. Ziejiao gestures for her to stop. Just then, Xu Hongdu also starts praising Xie Jiao, even more than Xiao Chun, which makes him a little angry. Later, he asks her, "Do you really want me to date another girl? When I said to help me by bad-mouthing me in front of her, then what was the need for you to praise me in front of them?" He gets angry with Xu Hongdu and leaves. His mood was also not good. She comes to her grandmother and tries to cheer herself up by talking to her. In the evening, Xu Hongdu doesn't even come to have dinner with Xie Jiao. So Xie Jiao calls her and finds out that she is not well and has gone to the hospital. As soon as he finds this out, he rushes to the hospital and, a little angry, asks Xu Hongdu, "Couldn't you have told me once if you weren't well? You came here all alone. What if something had happened on the way?" Xu Hongdu says, "You were the one who told me not to bother you. And anyway, my condition is not so serious that I can't come here alone." Then Xie Jiao checks her fever. Xu Hongdu tells him to sit right there and suggests to him that he should not date the girl they met at the restaurant today. From her words, Xie Jiao understands that Xu Hongdu is feeling a little jealous, even if just a bit. The next day, when Xie Jiao is going to his house, Xu Hongdu stops him by throwing something from the window and tells him that she has a wound on her neck, and calls him upstairs to apply medicine. That's why Xie Jiao goes upstairs very happily. But as soon as he reaches there, his happiness vanishes, because Xu Hongdu had packed almost all her belongings. She was going to leave from here soon. Then, Xu Hongdu comes and applies medicine to his wound. As morning breaks, the landlady and an auntie come to give Xu Hongdu a lot of dry fruits. Xu Hongdu was very surprised to see this because she was nothing to these people, yet they were giving her so much love, and her being here with them meant a lot to them. Xu Hongdu had also bought some gifts for the children, which she distributes among them. Here, Xie Jiao also finishes his work and comes to meet Xu Hongdu. He had brought a small gift for Xu Hongdu, whose price was very low, but it had Xie Jiao's love in it. Xu Hongdu wears it around her neck. After this, Xie Jiao casually confesses his feelings. "I like you, but I don't want to force you for anything." Sincerity was visible in his confession, which Xu Hongdu also likes a lot, and she hugs Xie Jiao. The next day, Xu Hongdu had to leave from here. She had stayed here for 3 months. She had formed a very good bond with the people here, so now leaving all of them like this was not at all pleasing to her. Xie Jiao was going to drop her to the airport, but on the way, they were not talking at all. Xie Jiao was very upset. Coming to the airport, they both hug each other once again and become very emotional, because now distance was going to come between them. Then, Xu Hongdu, before going to her home, comes to her best friend's house and stays with their mom and dad, which makes both of them very happy too. Here, Xie Jiao also thinks of messaging her but is unable to. But grandmother was repeatedly telling him to call Xu Hongdu to find out how Xu Hongdu is there. But Xie Jiao says, now we should not disturb her. We should stop thinking about her. At this, grandmother says, if that's the case, then first, you yourself remove her picture from your wallpaper. You can't forget her yourself and have come to lecture us. Over there, Xu Hongdu was spending a very good time with her best friend's mom and dad. She was making every effort so that they would be happy and not feel the absence of their daughter. After this, she also goes to her best friend's grave and tells her, because of her, she has started a new chapter of her life, and also tells her about her best memories. After this, she goes to her home. Here, after Xu Hongdu left, Xie Jiao's mood was not good anymore. He would get irritated over small things and get angry, and everyone understood why he was doing all this. When Xu Hongdu comes to her mom and dad's house, they are very happy. Xie Jiao's grandmother gives him a card and says she has saved a lot of money in it for his marriage, but she will give this card to him only when he goes to the city and talks to Xu Hongdu. At night, Xu Hongdu calls Xie Jiao. Both feel very happy talking to each other. Just then, Xu Hongdu sees someone's shadow near the door. She opens the door and sees that her mom and dad were secretly listening to her conversation. But as soon as they are caught, they both run away from there. The next morning, Shen gives Xie Jiao very big good news. They had found an investor for the homestay whose work was stalled due to the lack of an investor. Xie Jiao gives this good news to Xu Hongdu first, hearing which, she also becomes very happy. Xie Jiao asks her, you wanted to work in a hotel, right? So, if our homestay becomes stable, would you like to work here? But when Xu Hongdu doesn't reply for a while, he says, you don't need to worry about this. I just said it casually. But Xu Hongdu says, I will think about it. Her saying that much was enough for Xie Jiao. Then, Xu Hongdu tells her mom and dad, I don't want to go to another city for a job. With the savings she had made over the years, she wanted to buy that homestay in Xie Jiao's village. This means she wanted to return to Xie Jiao's village, hearing which, her family doesn't react at all. And ignoring her words, they leave. Xu Hongdu doesn't understand whether her parents are giving her permission for this or not. But at night, Xu Hongdu's sister explains to her, Mom and Dad like Xie Jiao. They want you to move forward in your life with him. That's why you can comfortably do whatever you want. Hearing which, Shu Hongdu gets a little emotional. Her sister says, "You always remember that whatever difficulty comes, your sister will always be with you." Hearing this, Shu Hongdo becomes very happy. The very next day, Shu Hongdu sets out for the village. Lina was waiting for her at the airport. Both are very happy to see each other. Shu Hongdo goes to the village and first meets grandmother, but when she meets Xie Jiao, he becomes completely like a statue upon seeing her, and Shu Hongdu starts recording his reaction on video. Xie Jiao's happiness was clearly visible on his face. Then, Xie Jiao hugs her and goes back to his work. Coming to the cottage, Shu Hongdu looks at her room again, where she feels very peaceful. After a while, Lina brings tea for her. At night, a get-together was held at the cottage, for which Xie Jiao makes a dish with his own hands and takes it. They all sit together and enjoy a lot. Then, where Xie Jiao is working, Shu Hongdu comes there to help him. There, everyone tells Shu Hongdu, when she had left from here, how worried Xie Jiao was for her. Where these two were not yet confirmed about their relationship, everyone else was waiting for their marriage. Then, while leaving from there, Xie Jiao asks her, "What do you think about me? I mean, what are your feelings for me in your heart? Because whatever you think, please tell me. I am getting very tense." But Shu Hongdu was enjoying doing this. So she doesn't answer his question yet and asks him to wait until tomorrow. But Xie Jiao couldn't wait. He had to know tonight. That's why he comes to her cottage at night and confesses his love again. "I like you very much. So, would you like to be my girlfriend?" But Shu Hongdu says, "I will give you the answer tomorrow." But Xie Jiao had become stubborn. He will find out her answer today. So he comes to her house and says, "If you like me, then kiss me now." Now Shu Hongdu has to give in to his persistence, and she kisses him. Then Xie Jiao comes inside, and we get to see a little bit of their romance. The next day, these two had to go on a date. So Xie Jiao quickly gets ready and comes to pick up Du Hongdu. They both go for a walk together. After eating noodles, they both sit down in a place to talk. Shu Hongdu could cover her expenses by working, but Xie Jiao wanted to take her responsibility. They are about to kiss when Qin arrives there. She had been listening to their conversation for a long time. Xie Jiao wanted to take her responsibility, so she wanted to know that, so that she could also teach her boyfriend to be responsible. Xie Jiao explains, "Responsibility cannot be taught to anyone. And anyway, your boyfriend is still young. When he grows up, he will learn all this himself." Then these two also tell Xiao Chun that they are now in a relationship. Hearing this, she is also very happy. And after this, finally, that day arrives for which they all had been waiting for so long. Tourists started coming to their village from different places. There was a crowd of tourists at every spot. Then we find out about Lina, who used to be a social media influencer before. She used to sing songs online, but false rumors were spread about her, because of which she left everything and came here to live. But the video of their village had made her viral again, because of which people were again posting hate comments about her. When Damai finds out about this, she tells Shu Hongdu. She comes and talks to Lina and finds out that Lina wanted to donate money for those children who couldn't get treatment from doctors due to lack of money. The amount she got from live streaming, and she had also added some money from her savings to donate, but still, everyone was saying that she had donated very little money. People start comparing it with her clothes, that the clothes Lina wore were more expensive than the donated money. Gradually, these rumors kept increasing. At the same time, her classmate used to tell people that she traps rich boys. She had exposed my number, my address, everything. She didn't have the courage to face all this, so she left everything and started living here. While saying all this, she starts crying. Shu Hongdu gives Damai the responsibility of taking care of Lina. Shu Hongdu is working late into the night when Xie Jiao comes there, hugs her, and tells her to rest, and starts doing her share of the work himself. Shu Hongdu was still worried about Lina, so Xie Jiao advises her, if Lina wants to fix everything again, she should start live streaming again. She had a lot of followers whom she can help. She can promote their products. But Shu Hongdo doesn't like this idea at all. She says, Lina is in trouble, so why do you want to use her for your benefit? And she gets angry with Xie Jiao and leaves. When she comes home and looks, she finds that Xie Jiao had put a ring made of grass in her bag to calm her anger, and it does. But she tells Xie Jiao, someone has given me a ring like this before. Hearing this, Xie Jiao gets worried. He asks, who gave it? But she gives no reply. Now the next morning, Xie Jiao is after her, asking who gave you such a ring. At first, Shu Hongdu is not telling. But then as she is leaving, she says, my best friend gave me such a ring. Here, Lina decides that she will go live stream again and help the farmers here by promoting this place. She will also promote her cafe's products. Damai asks her, aren't you scared that if people say something wrong to you again? Lina says, I know, with my friends around, nothing can happen to me. Whatever happens, all my friends will protect me. Damai asks her, tell me what I should do for you. Lina says, you just cheer for me. This was a very small task for her. She starts cheering for her by shouting loudly. And the next day, Zijiao's mom and dad come with their younger son to meet Xu Hongdu. Xu Hongdu was feeling very awkward going in front of them. That's why she calls her mom and asks about how she should behave in front of them. After talking to them, Xu Hongdu starts talking to Zijiao's mom and dad. In a little while, she also becomes quite comfortable. Over there, Lina leaves all her fear and starts the live stream, and all her friends support her. The next day, the landlady tells Xu Hongdo that rumors are spreading in the village that Xie Zhayao and his girlfriend, that is you, are planning to earn money alone. They think that they are not going to benefit from this. Just then, after some time, the village people find Xu Hongdo alone and start harassing her. And at the same time, they also try to stop the construction work. Two children go and tell grandmother about this, and grandmother comes to chase all those people away and scolds everyone and shoos them away from there. Xu Hongdu was also feeling very safe with them. Later, Ziejiao talks to those people and they all come to apologize to Xu Hongdu, but then Grandpa beats them and chases them away because he thought they had come to harass Xu Hongdo again. The next day, Xu Hongdu was returning to the city to get her things from the hotel. Ziejiao was also going to drop her, but just then he finds out that a lady's health had deteriorated a lot and she had to be admitted to the hospital. Now, in such a situation, Xu Hongdo didn't want to leave Ziejiao alone, so she cancels her trip and comes with Ziejiao to see the auntie. After this, the next day, Xu Hongdo and Ziejiao come to the city to get Xu Hongdo's things, and taking her things, they go there. In the blink of an eye, a year passes, and now their small village had become a tourist spot. Xu Hongdao's homestay was also ready now, and she was the boss here. In the next scene, we see that Xu Hongdu's mom and dad are about to come to see Xie Jiao. That's why he is feeling very nervous. Xu Hongdu tells him, "Relax, you don't need to be so nervous." But when Xu Hongdu's mom and dad come there, they are very happy to meet Ziejiao's mom and dad and get along very well with each other. They both think, "We were worrying about them for no reason." At night, a get-together was held where all of them gather. There, Xu Hongdo gives a short speech, and everyone enjoys the moment very much. In the last scene, Xu Hongdo and Xie Jiao are sitting together, watching the stars and drinking. Xie Jiao says, "I wonder which one of these is your grandma, and which one is my mom?" Xu Hongdo says, "I don't know." Xie Jiao is looking at her very intently, so she asks, "What happened to you?" He says, "I want this moment to stop right here, and I feel like today we are standing at the peak of happiness." Xu Hongdo says, "Okay, let's make time stop. Let's count 3, 2, 1. Xie Jiao asks, "Will doing this stop time?" Xu Hongdo says, "Let's try." She counts 1, 2, 3, and Xie Jiao kisses her. And right here, the drama has its happy ending.